I thought, what is it that might appeal to your interests? And something that economists often talk about, which tends to be interesting to pretty much everybody, is the distribution of income. What is fair? Naomi Campbell and people like her, they walk up and down a catwalk for a few hours a week and get paid $50,000 an hour. And she's not even pretty. And at the same time, you've got loads of people who are struggling on pensions to survive. You've got people working for a minimum wage. And almost everybody you meet, it screams out to them, this is unfair, this isn't right. And then they start thinking, well, what have economists got to say about the way income is distributed in society? What do economists think is fair and just? So that's the topic I want to talk to you about. And the way I want to do it is this. I first of all want to think not about what's fair and just, but about the way in which income is actually distributed. Just how uneven is it? Then when we've done that, we'll think about some reasons why income is so unevenly distributed. What is it that enables Naomi Campbell to get these absurd sums of money? Then I'll think a bit about what governments do to change the distribution of income. And then finally, we'll get round to saying, what do economists think is right? When you ask an economist for what's a fair distribution of income, what does he say? So we'll take a while getting there, but if we look at these other things first of all, when we get there, I think we'll have something more powerful to say. So the first thing I want to do is to focus on how income is distributed typically in a market kind of society. And there's an informal way of doing it and then a more formal way. The informal way that gives you a good sense of how uneven the distribution actually is to have a little parade. And so we take a typical society like the UK, where I come from, and we're going to give everybody in the UK a height which reflects their income. So if they're averagely well off, they're going to be averagely tall, but the poor people will shrink proportionately. And then the rich people will give them a very tall a height which reflects how well off they are. So everybody in the UK now has a height which reflects their income. And we're going to line them all up outside of the door, and with the shortest at the front and the tallest at the back. We're going to have a parade, and they're going to come through the door and out of the window in the space of 1 hour, and we're going to watch the parade. And what is fairly typical for the UK is going to be reasonably typical for many market kinds of societies. Remember, the short people are at the front. So what happened? Oh, you're not that short, is he? So what happens when the parade begins? For the first few minutes, you don't need to open the door. They'll crawl under the crack at the bottom. But as the parade goes on, and these people are getting taller and taller, how long before the average height person appears? In the UK, it's 49 minutes. And you think, how can it take so long when you've only got an hour? Because there's a relatively small number of people at the back of the parade who are 200, 500, 1,000 kilometers high, who can't even get their heel through the door. So, little bit of elementary statistics, what that means is that if you come to the UK and earn a mean average salary, you're going to be better off than over 3/4 of the population, because the distribution of income is so skewed. Now, that's a very informal way. There's a much more formal way of looking at the distribution of income, which is quite helpful when you want to make comparisons between societies, and it's called the Gini coefficient, and I'll just